You know the 8 hours you spend in bed every night? They should be the safest, most healing part of the day. A time for your brain to restore itself, for your body to recover, for your senior health to be protected. But as a brain doctor, what I find truly shocking is this. For many people over 60, this period of rest has quietly become the most dangerous time of day. And yes, it has everything to do with your stroke risk. The threat isn't a nightmare. It isn't a sudden heart attack in the middle of the night. It's your pillow. It's the sleeping position you've kept for the last 50 years. The way you rest your head can silently press on the arteries in your neck, reducing blood flow and oxygen to your brain while you're sound asleep. Night after night, this hidden pressure can quietly raise your stroke risk without you feeling a single thing. Today, we're going to change that. I'll give you a new owner's manual for sleeping safely after 60. We'll uncover 9 silent habits that can increase your stroke risk, and I'll show you simple, brain-saving adjustments that protect your circulation, your blood pressure, and your senior health. Welcome back to Stroke and Heart Attack, our community dedicated to stroke prevention and better mornings. As a brain doctor for over 30 years, I've learned that the story of a stroke often begins during the quiet, unguarded hours of the night. I've seen the confusion and fear in my patients' eyes when they wake up with symptoms they can't explain: dizziness, a numb arm, or a foggy mind. These are not just random events. They could be early signs of a stroke that started in the way they slept. Today, we're going to address those fears with clarity and gentle guidance. We'll go step by step through 9 sleeping positions and habits that can silently increase your stroke risk, and I'll show you the brain-saving solutions for each one. This is not about strict rules that make sleeping time stressful. It's about understanding your body's new needs after 60, managing blood pressure, and making small adjustments that can have a big impact on stroke prevention and your senior health. I want you to watch this until the very last second, because by the end, you will have a clear, comforting, and safe blueprint for your sleep. This is about reclaiming your nights, protecting your brain, and lowering your stroke risk. If you're ready, share in the comments which sleeping position you find most comfortable, and let's begin this important conversation together. Side sleeping is one of the most common positions for adults. It can be wonderful for your spine and even good for your breathing. But here's the hidden danger. If you stay locked on the same side for 8 hours, it can quietly strain the arteries that feed your brain. Your neck is a delicate and vital highway for blood flow. Running up each side are the carotid arteries, essential pipelines for oxygen. When you lie on your side, especially if your pillow is too soft and your head sinks down, the full weight of your head can press on the carotid artery on the downside against your shoulder. For a younger person with healthy arteries, this isn't much of a problem, but as we age, arteries can stiffen and narrow due to plaque buildup. That constant low-grade compression over several hours can significantly reduce blood flow through a narrowed artery. In a worst-case scenario, it can dislodge a fragile piece of plaque, send it into the brain, and cause a major ischemic stroke. It's one of those hidden ways your stroke risk can rise without you even knowing it. I remember George, a 72-year-old patient who always slept on his right side. He started waking up with temporary numbness in his left hand. He ignored it for weeks. One morning, he woke up and the numbness had spread to his entire left arm. Scans showed he'd had a small stroke, likely from reduced blood flow in his right carotid artery. You don't have to stop side sleeping, but you do need to make it more dynamic and supportive. Place a pillow between your knees to keep your hips and spine aligned. This makes turning more comfortable. The pillow under your head should be firm enough to fill the space between your ear and the mattress, keeping your neck in a perfectly straight, neutral line with your spine.
Most of us naturally turn in our sleep, but if you're a very still sleeper, take those brief moments when you wake up at night to roll over to the other side. That simple shift can lower your stroke risk by giving each artery a break from compression. This is one of the most common and easily fixed mistakes I see. You might love a big, fluffy hotel-style pillow, or stack 2 or 3 for comfort while reading, and then drift off to sleep. It feels cozy, but it can quietly kink the hose to your brain. When your pillow is too high, it forces your neck into sharp forward flexion, pushing your chin toward your chest. This position puts strain on the vertebral arteries that run through the small bones in the back of your neck. These arteries supply blood to your cerebellum and brainstem, the parts of your brain that control balance, coordination, breathing, and heartbeat. Stretching or compressing them for hours can cause vertebral artery insufficiency, where the back of your brain doesn't get enough blood. It's a cause of morning dizziness, imbalance, or nausea that I see often. In more severe cases, the artery lining can tear, leading to a dangerous dissection and stroke. Patricia, age 74, suffered from terrible morning vertigo for years. When I asked about her sleep habits, she proudly told me she used 3 very firm memory foam pillows. We switched her to a single contoured cervical pillow that supported her neck's natural curve. Her vertigo disappeared within a week, proof that something as simple as pillow height can affect your stroke risk. Always aim for a neutral spine. When you're lying on your back or side, your neck should be a seamless extension of your spine. Your ear should be in line with your shoulder and your shoulder with your hip. For side sleepers, the pillow should be firm and high enough to fill the gap between your ear and the mattress. For back sleepers, a thinner contoured pillow with a gentle roll to support your neck's curve is ideal. Your chin should never be tilted toward your chest during sleep. Remember, tools like pillows can be your greatest allies or your hidden enemies for senior health. This is such an important theme. The tools we use for comfort, like our pillows, can be our greatest allies or our hidden enemies. I know many of you wake up with that nagging stiff neck. Does this explanation help you see more clearly what might be happening and how it could raise your stroke risk? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience could help someone else connect the dots. And please, don't go anywhere, because the next habit we'll discuss is a position many people find comforting, but it can dangerously restrict the most vital thing your brain needs at night: oxygen. I want you to watch this until the very last second, because by the end, you'll have a complete step-by-step blueprint for safer, healthier sleep. There is something deeply comforting and almost primal about curling up into a tight fetal position. It can make us feel safe and secure, especially on a cold night when we want warmth. But when this position becomes too tightly coiled, it can quietly sabotage your body's ability to get the oxygen it needs. When you pull your knees up tightly toward your chest and curl your spine forward, you are physically compressing your diaphragm, the large dome-shaped muscle at the base of your lungs that does most of the work of breathing. When your diaphragm is compressed, it cannot descend fully with each breath. That means your lungs cannot expand to their full capacity. As a result, you spend the night breathing shallowly. This shallow breathing lowers the oxygen level in your blood, a condition called nocturnal hypoxia. For a brain that may already be at higher stroke risk because of aging arteries, hypertension, or narrowing from plaque, this drop in oxygen is a significant stressor. Over time, low nighttime oxygen can contribute to headaches upon waking, feelings of fatigue, and cognitive decline. In people with undiagnosed sleep apnea, the risk becomes even greater because the oxygen drop is compounded. You can still enjoy the comfort of side sleeping, but lengthen your spine just a bit. Instead of pulling your knees all the way up to your chest, keep them bent at a more relaxed angle, slightly below hip level. Think of your body as a gentle C shape rather than a tightly closed coil. Placing a long body pillow in front of you to hug and another thinner pillow between your knees can give you the same sense of security. At the same time, it prevents you from curling too tightly and keeps your chest open so your diaphragm can move freely. Sleeping on your back is often considered the gold standard for spinal alignment. But for stroke prevention and senior health, there is an important caution. Your neck must be properly supported. When you lie flat on your back with a pillow that is too flat or too firm, you lose the natural C-curve of your cervical spine. This can cause the muscles at the base of your skull to tighten, putting pressure on the vertebral arteries as they pass into your brain. There is another common danger. When many people lie flat on their backs, the tongue and soft palate can fall backward. This can partially or completely block the airway, causing snoring or, in more severe cases, obstructive sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is not just a nuisance. It is a serious condition in which you repeatedly stop breathing for short periods throughout the night. Each episode causes blood oxygen levels to drop. Your brain senses the emergency and sends out a stress alarm, flooding your body with stress hormones to make you gasp for air. These repeated surges can cause dramatic spikes in blood pressure during the night, which raises your stroke risk significantly. For back sleepers, the best pillow is a cervical or contoured pillow. It has a gentle roll that supports the natural curve of your neck, with a flatter area for your head to rest. This keeps your neck in alignment and can help keep the airway open. If your partner says you snore loudly, or especially if they've seen you stop breathing or gasp for air, you must take that seriously. Talk to your doctor about getting a sleep study. Treating sleep apnea is one of the most powerful ways to protect your brain, control blood pressure, and lower your stroke risk. Of all the common sleeping positions, this is the one I must advise against most strongly as a brain doctor. Many people find it comforting, especially if they have back pain, but the cost to your brain and neck is simply too high. When you sleep on your stomach, you must turn your head almost 90 degrees to one side to breathe. Your neck stays in that twisted position for hours. This extreme torsion strains the ligaments and muscles in your neck. More dangerously, it can compress the carotid artery on the side your head is facing and stretch the vertebral artery on the opposite side. For arteries already narrowed by plaque, this combination of compression and stretching is risky. It can cause an arterial dissection, a tear in the artery wall, which can lead directly to a stroke. Lying on your stomach also puts pressure on your rib cage and diaphragm, making it harder for your lungs to expand fully. That means less oxygen for your brain during the night, a serious issue for senior health and stroke prevention. I recall a 68-year-old patient who slept on his stomach to reduce snoring. He began waking with headaches and persistent brain fog. A specialized scan showed significantly reduced blood flow through his vertebral arteries during the night because of his sleeping position. If you've been a stomach sleeper for decades, changing the habit can be challenging. Make it uncomfortable to roll onto your stomach. Use a firm body pillow or arrange several pillows as a barricade on either side of you. If you start to roll in your sleep, the pillows will stop you and encourage you to stay on your side or back. Over time, your body can be retrained to favor a safer position. We've now covered 5 critical habits, from the way you position your neck to the way you choose and use your pillows. You can start to see how these small, mindful adjustments can create a powerful shield of protection around your brain, lowering your stroke risk while you sleep. I truly hope you're finding this empowering. If even one piece of this information has been useful for you, please take a moment to give this video a like and share it with someone in your family. And if you haven't already, don't forget to press that subscribe button for stroke and heart attack. Remember, subscribing and sharing is a simple, free action that not only helps protect you, but also the people you care about from a preventable event like a stroke. On a cold night, it can feel cozy and warm to pull the blanket over your head, but doing this creates a small enclosed space where the air you breathe changes quickly. Every time you exhale, you release carbon dioxide, CO2. In an open room, CO2 dissipates immediately. Under a blanket, CO2 builds up while oxygen levels fall. Breathing this stale, oxygen-poor air leads to hypercapnia, too much CO2 in the blood, and hypoxia, too little oxygen. Your brain reacts by dilating blood vessels to try to bring in more oxygen. This can cause a throbbing headache and raise intracranial pressure, putting unnecessary stress on your brain and increasing stroke risk. If you feel cold at night, wear a soft beanie or sleeping cap to keep your head warm. Wear warm socks and add more blankets to your body. But always keep your head in fresh, open air so your brain gets the oxygen it needs. For seniors with acid reflux, sleep apnea, or back pain, sleeping in a recliner can seem like the only way to get comfortable, but when this becomes a nightly habit, it poses a risk to your circulation. When you sleep in a seated, reclined position, your knees remain bent and your legs hang down. This can cause blood to pool in your lower extremities, increasing your risk of a deep vein thrombosis, DVT. A colleague of mine once told me about an 80-year-old patient who developed a massive DVT after sleeping in his recliner for a week while recovering from pneumonia. The clot could easily have traveled to his lungs or brain. If you need to sleep with your head elevated, elevate your whole torso, not just your head. An adjustable bed or wedge pillow allows your legs to remain relatively straight while keeping your upper body supported, preventing dangerous blood pooling. While we've already discussed the risks of staying on one side all night, there are specific concerns with always sleeping on the right. The inferior vena cava, a large vein that returns blood from the lower body to the heart, runs up the right side of your spine. Consistent pressure here can slow venous return and increase pressure in your leg veins over time. Your brain also has its own unique waste clearing system called the glymphatic system, which is most active during sleep. It works like a nighttime cleaning crew, clearing metabolic waste from brain tissue. The main drainage path for this system, the thoracic duct, runs along the left side of your body. Some research suggests that sleeping on the left side may help this process work more efficiently, while sleeping on the right may be less effective. Don't worry if you naturally roll to your right during the night. Your body will move as it needs. But when you first settle into bed, try to start on your left side. This gives your body its best chance for optimal circulation and brain drainage as you drift off. A cool room is generally recommended for good sleep, but a very cold room can become a risk factor, especially if combined with poor neck support. Cold temperatures cause vasoconstriction, which is the tightening of blood vessels to conserve heat. If your neck is also bent or twisted by an unsupportive pillow, you've created a double problem. Your arteries are narrowed by both the cold and the position. This combination can significantly reduce blood flow to the brain. Over time, that reduced flow can raise your stroke risk and worsen other senior health issues. Aim for a room temperature between 66 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit, or 19 to 21 degrees Celsius. Not too hot, not too cold, just right for your body and your circulation. Pair this with a proper cervical pillow that keeps your neck in a neutral, aligned position. Even the perfect temperature can't protect your brain if your neck is bent in a way that restricts blood flow. We've gone through 9 sleeping habits that can quietly strain your heart, raise your blood pressure, thicken your blood, and disrupt the vital flow to your brain. This is not about making you anxious about going to sleep. It's about empowering you to take simple, mindful steps that protect your brain, lower your stroke risk, and support your overall senior health. The position you choose, the pillow you use, and even the temperature of your room are all small, powerful acts of self-care. You are the guardian of your brain. The 8 hours you spend in bed can either increase your stroke risk or be the most restorative, healing part of your day. That choice is yours. If this conversation gave you even one aha moment, please do 2 things for our community. First, give this video a like so more people looking for stroke prevention tips can find it. Second, hit that subscribe button and join us here at Stroke and Heart Attack. We are more than just a channel. We are a community dedicated to senior health, stroke prevention, and living with strength and clarity. Your best nights and your healthiest mornings are still ahead.